The United Nations is describing the 5-day standoff at Manus Island as an unfolding humanitarian emergency. Hundreds of asylum seekers are still refusing to move out of the detention centre there, and the UN is urging Australia to restore basic services. As James Hancock reports, hundreds of protesters have added their voices to calls for the Turnbull government to end the crisis.
The PNG military has tightened security around the centre to stop food from reaching about 600 men who remain inside.
We have urged Australia and PNG to de-escalate the situation, resume basic services.
The asylum seekers say conditions are worsening after food, water and power supplies were cut on Tuesday.
The last food distribution there was on Sunday.
The PNG government wants them to move to accommodation in the main town of Lorengau, but they're refusing to go.
We don't feel safe.
The UN says their fears about being attacked should be addressed.
We urge the governments of Australia and Papua New Guinea to fully respect their human rights, including their specific rights under international refugee law.
From Manus to Melbourne.
This morning, I was speaking to a Tamil man on the island. In a few days, medicine will run out.
The protesters are demanding the government immediately end the impasse and renewing calls for the asylum seekers to be brought to Australia.
If the definition of terror is to use violence and threaten people's lives for political purposes, then Peter Dutton is a terrorist.
The Immigration Minister Peter Dutton's office declined to comment on the UN's condemnation, but has previously said the government won't be changing its policy to allow them to come to Australia.
New Zealand has offered to resettle 150 of the asylum seekers, an option Labor says should be seriously considered.
If you've stopped the train,
there were no people coming, Pat.
Why can't you resettle some in New Zealand?
Quite simply, Pat, if you give people the option, if they know that they can get to Christmas Island, they can get resettlement in New Zealand, you will start that trade up again.
New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern is meeting Malcolm Turnbull in Sydney tomorrow when the issue may be raised.
We are beseeching Ms Ardern to increase her offer and tell Malcolm Turnbull that she would take all of the guys on Manus Island.
Meanwhile, the standoff continues. James Hancock, ABC News.